Okay. So, well, if you're listening and you have some of these issues, and especially so, maybe you tried something at home and it worked for you. It could just be that it's you've given it a superficial treatment, and so it's not late. You'd better start getting to see a doctor to have you properly checked before it becomes an issue. And then for us in this part of the world, quite often we may have caused these things ourselves, and then we end up binding devils and blaming our grandparents and all that for it. So let's do the right thing. Good morning, Edem. Please say hello to Dr. Sepuga for me. God bless him for all the wonderful things he's doing for women. And this is from Senam in Lashibi. Doc, I don't know if you know Senam.
Yes, Senam,
You
thank
do.
you.
Okay. Now, so let me go on to ask. I have a lot of questions coming through, but let me go on to, so we've talked about why fertility may decline. You've also helped us to understand that this is backed by science, by your research, and people who visit and all that you have observed. So we also established that this could happen in both men and women.
Correct.
How does it really present? Now we see it for the women.
For the
How
women.
does it present in men as well?
Yeah. So, and that's a very good question because, a lot of the time we tend to put all the focus on women. And in as much as that has the advantage of us not waiting till things get too late, it also puts undue pressure on the women, and I must say, and society appears to confer some sort of what we call a cultural diplomatic immunity on the men. And so that if the couple is not conceiving,
Then it's a woman's
then it's a woman. Everybody points fingers to the woman until we figure it out medically. But then it shouldn't be, because strictly speaking, if you take every 10 couples that are struggling to conceive, the problem could either be the man or the woman in equal measure. And as a matter of fact, these days we're even beginning to see that in our population, a lot more of the men are having issues than the women. The point is, let us not disproportionately focus all the negative attention on the woman. It's a shared problem. So, in men, sperm production begins again from puberty and it carries on till way later on in life. Okay? But from about age 45, there's an important hormone in men that stimulates sperm production. It's called testosterone. Do you want to give that a try?
Testosterone.
Again.
Doc, please.
My classroom.
Doc, I just want to that with you. Testosterone.
Thank you. So that hormone stimulates all the male reproductive functions, including erection and sperm production. And so from about age 45 in the case of women, testosterone levels begin to decline significantly. And so it takes slightly longer for the man who is 45 years and above to achieve pregnancy with their partner than if they were younger. And then with age, it also reduces. And so the only advantage in the case of men is that it doesn't as much affect the quality as it does in women. But there is some loss of quality also as the man ages.
When you say quality, what do you mean? Is it the quality of the child you may end up having?
Yes, the quality of the sperm.
Okay.
So some tend to have some deep-seated genetic problems which are age-related. I don't want to go too technical. There's something, for instance, we call sperm DNA fragmentation. The DNA, which is the genetic signature in the sperm, can suffer some damage as a result of age and smoking, excessive alcohol, and so many other things. And also in the mid-40s, when the man is beginning to develop issues like diabetes, hypertension, all those things can have effects on the sperm quality and general well-being. And so time to conception, we call it, would reduce in the case of the men beyond 45 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a question here that's speaking directly to what we are discussing. My name is Na. I married at the age of 41, but we had a baby at 38. I want to believe that's when she was 38. My husband and I have been trying to get pregnant for the past 3 years, and nothing has happened. What should we do?
Edem, I think you can even answer from the notes you've
Go and
taken
see
so
a
far.
doctor.
Yes. There's certainly a solution.
There is.
Yes,
And there's no one size fit all approach to these days.
Thank you.
You know.
So you come, we investigate both of you. We'll certainly be able to figure out where the problem is. We fix the problem, and the pregnancy follows.
The question is, my wife and I want to get pregnant next month. What do I do to boost my sperm production? I don't drink alcohol though. I don't smoke. What can she also do? In this case, we are talking about these things in relation to age.
Yeah.
It will be interesting, or it will be great if you made us understand how old you are. Because if you are relatively young people in your late 20s, then you should just do what we are saying, Doc. I'm answering the question now.
Yes. The only thing I'll add on is that we encourage generally healthy lifestyle. Eat healthy. He or she said he said he doesn't take
drink,
alcohol, which is good.
Smoke.
Yes. But apart from that, healthy eating, regular exercise, it makes you fitter and sperms a lot more healthier. And then apart from that, like Edem says, you do what you got to do. Because the woman's eggs are of the best quality when she's between 20 to 30 years. And so that is the best time. And for us, we are most happy if everybody would complete having their babies as a woman before 35 years.
Okay.
Then the things that we know can happen, we've ruled those out. The rest, if anything, then we can deal with it. But as much as possible, ideally, if possible, that should be the target.
Great. There's a question here, but I'd like to ask you one or two questions before we get to this one. It says, how can I improve the egg quality? How can egg quality in women be improved, especially so as you grow? But ahead of that, I want to find out. So apart from the first question we answered, the very first one about she being 38 or she being 41 and they've been trying for 3 years. So you know that there are age issues there and it needs to be investigated.
Yeah.
But until that dawns on you, what are some of the symptoms? What would you be seeing to realize that you probably may be having, or what experiences would you be having to make you feel like, okay, I may be having issues when it comes to fertility?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, you're not likely to feel or see any obvious overt symptoms. Okay. A few persons may be lucky to realize their menstrual cycles are getting a bit irregular. Either the flow, the number of days is reducing compared to what it used to be, or the cycle, you're skipping the menses. You have your flow this month, next month it doesn't come, the next month it comes. These are some of the potential warning signs, but majority wouldn't experience any of these. It is just so when we always say the main issue of concern is the number of your age, that number, yeah. So that should be the main thing that should lead us to seek help or take action earlier to prevent problems.
Doc, would you also advise that, I think this is in relation to this question, advise that if you realize that you're 35 before you get pregnant, would you advise that a woman of that age gets checked before they even try to conceive?
So, did you say before marriage?
No, you're 35.
Okay, 35, yes.
And now you want to start, having children.
Yes, so 35, and you now want to start because life circumstances have so made it, or you didn't know and you're already 35. Yes, the check would help us to be able to advise that, yes, you're 35, your egg reserves, the measure we use, there's a specific measure which is supposed to be between 1 and 3, and you're around 1.1 or 0.9. So it tells us that, yes, you're 35 and your levels or your egg reserves are really low, so let's speed up. To that extent, yes, it is good to start to get checked. Or you're 35, but fortunately when we check, your egg reserves are not bad, 2.4, 2.5. So yes, we're 35 and great. Because the more the reserves, the greater the tendency of having great quality eggs in there, compared to if the reserves are already too low. Okay, so there's a place for getting checked, and then we can also recommend some supplements, and that speaks to the next question.
Yeah.
That to some extent may help to improve the
Improve the
quality
quality.
a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, just so because we know that after 35, quality decline is there. But the thing about the quantity, I'm afraid we don't have solutions.
To that.
Because, like I said, you were born with the pre-packed, you know.
So can they finish?
Yes, and that is what happens
When
you hit your menopause.
I see. That one is done.
It's done. You know, but
Nothing can be done.
certainly there are options to help you get your pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we talk
But
about.
why
the
do you even
donor.
have to get there?
We wish you wouldn't get
Get
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I had a question on my mind. Oh, where did this question vanish to? I should have written it down. Okay. Let me move on to ask another question. Mine will come. It's an interesting question I had in mind. Mine is, this one says, mine is there any recommendable mechanism to either multiply or increase washed away eggs? And is there any medication or food to also strengthen and energize weakening eggs as age catches up? This is from Isaac.
Yeah. I mean, so these are very useful, practical questions, isn't it? So the thing is, general healthy lifestyle is good for everything, including your eggs and your reproductive function. Beyond that, yes, we have some specific supplements that we recommend for persons, particularly women who are 35 years and above. Just so we try as much as possible to see what we can do to optimize the quality of whatever the woman, whatever eggs the woman has beyond 35 years, because we are now talking about it. Certainly, somebody's already 35 and beyond and would need help. So yeah, there are some supplements we use to improve that. Indeed.
Okay. Very interesting questions. Can you please ask Doc for me? I am 37 and my husband has dry ejaculation due to a surgery he had. I want to get pregnant. What do I do?
Okay.
What is dry ejaculation to start with?
So dry ejaculation, some people use that to refer to when the semen is the fluid that the man releases, and that semen is supposed to contain the sperms, which are living things. And so some situations happen where, as a result of previous surgery or some past infection in the man, the tube that allows the sperm to flow out of the testis is blocked. So there's some secretion that comes as a fluid but does not contain any sperms.
Wow.
Okay. So in this case, the man is producing the sperms all right, but they are stuck in the testis. They are not coming out. And that's one of our interest areas. So we did a research recently and we found that we are able to go into the testes to harvest those sperms and use it to fertilize the woman egg.
Wow.
And nearly 52 out of 100 would conceive when we do that. You know, it's called testicular sperm extraction. And we use that to get those special sperms that are very precious and inject it into the egg in order to achieve fertilization.
So what, in this case, nothing can be done for the man to be able to, ejaculate and have the sperms released?
No, because like I said, so whatever comes, the semen is a fluid. And in there you must have the sperm, which are the living things.
Yeah.
But so that fluid that comes is not all from the testes. As the semen is coming, the fluid joins it before it comes out. So the sperms are stuck in the testes, but the secretions are still able to come from, say, the prostate gland. So the only way we can get those sperms would be do a tiny procedure and get into the testes to remove the sperms and use them to fertilize the eggs. So it's not as though nothing can be done. So nothing can be done to conceive without intervention is what you meant. No, but there are interventions, fortunately, to solve those problems.
This would be very frustrating for a couple,
For a couple,
especially if you don't have this knowledge.
yes. But fortunately, we have
There-
solutions. Yeah.
Great. Now somebody made me remember the question. I was gonna say that, Doc. I want to ask a typical home affairs question.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone just reminded me.
Great.
So at 35, and I'm sure, I mean, the people who visit you, you would realize that at that age, most of them are not even married, or they are not even in very serious relationships because of things that they may have found themselves in school, chasing career, and all that. There's no time to take breaks and all that. And if a person like this visits you, you talked about the measure, and this is like 1 point something, and so we need to act fast. Aren't we promoting, you know, like, okay, go and look for someone to impregnate you and have a baby without building homes and families?
Now I see the home affairs in the
Yes.
question.
Because let me relate it to this question that
Yeah.
I mean, you know, brought it up. He says, please, I'm 36 years now, not married, and I have no children. I haven't had any symptoms of fibroids before, but planning to get pregnant before the year ends. That is whether I am married or not. Please, is there anything medical I am supposed to do before trying to get pregnant in order to have a smooth pregnancy and having a healthy baby at the end of the pregnancy? This is from Regina.
I like the end of the question, you know, because I'll take it from there. We actually want every woman to be healthy before embarking on pregnancy. Because a healthy woman who, before getting pregnant, ensures to some extent a healthy pregnancy and a better pregnancy outcome, which is what brings me to what we talk about as preconception care, which again is something we don't do.
Yeah.
You know, when you are planning to start having to start embarking on pregnancy, it's extremely important to see a healthcare person, check your blood pressure, do a few labs, do an ultrasound scan, check to see if there are any things that we need to correct in order to improve the pregnancy journey. Then your blood pressure is high, it wasn't detected, your blood sugars are high, and you have a baby and you get pregnant. Unfortunately, it affects the formation of the baby. Down the line, we realize that, oh, the baby has no head. The baby has this major congenital problem. Just because we didn't take those initial steps to get checked and to correct something before. You know, so that's very important. So, as she's trying or planning to embark on pregnancy, it's very, very good. We do a general medical check just to make sure you are good, or just to correct ABC even before. And in her case, being 36, she will definitely benefit from some supplements, like you said, to improve a bit further the quality of her eggs. Right? Now, your question. Now, the answer to that is that we're not necessarily promoting single or unplanned family situations, but we are promoting what I would rather refer to as steps towards fertility preservation, if you may. Okay? You are approaching 35, or you are around 35, or you just crossed 35, and there are no signs of Mr. X appearing so soon, or you're not having any stable blah blah blah. We have the option to harvest some of the eggs and freeze them. Okay? So go through a minor procedure. Every month, the woman is supposed to release one egg, like I mentioned, and then the next month, one egg out of the 10 to 20 that may potentially be fertilizable. So we put you on some medications, some injections, to make sure that we develop multiple eggs at the same time, to see how many of the 10 to 20 that would have gone waste we can rescue. So we can do that and then develop about 10, 12, 15 eggs using medications. And then we harvest these eggs through some procedure, not so major. So we harvest and we have obtained about 12, 13, 15 eggs. And then we freeze them in your name. Edem Knight-Tay, date of birth, and then this code, and it is yours. Okay?
How long can you freeze the eggs?
So for now, the technology hasn't shown any limit as yet,
Okay.
which is a good thing. We've got frozen eggs for the past 10 years, which we're able to use to have babies and more.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, we've done this for you at age 35 or 36 or 34 or 33, and then
Can you do it at an earlier age?
yes, you can.
Even better, I guess.
Yes, like you said, the egg qualities are best between the ages of 20 to 30.
Okay.
Okay, so once we get this frozen, then you go on, achieve all your career goals, MBA, KBC, da da da. Then, if at age 42 you are ready, we have 34-year-old eggs. Because once we freeze, the eggs do not age any longer.
Okay.
And so those eggs are of better quality and give you a better chance of having healthier babies.
Doc, is it just healthy eggs or, good quality eggs that ensures healthy babies? At that age, like it or leave it, you probably are 40, 45. Your eggs have been frozen, so they are still about maybe 32. Is that enough? How about your age and your personal health?
Yeah, so that's also very important. But looking at the circumstances, that is why I had established that for us, we are most happy if every woman is done having babies by 35 years.
Okay.
Because
Before
after 35, and apart from the egg quality related issues, egg quantity related issues, we're also concerned about your general health. Pregnancies that are later on in life tend to be more at risk of problems like hypertension in pregnancy, diabetes in pregnancy. But these, once we know you are in that category, we are a bit more aggressive in looking out for them proactively and dealing with them. We are prepared to take care of them because that's the situation we have. But I have established that as much as possible, if you can, get all done
Before
by
35.
35.
Okay. Now, let me add another home affairs angle to this one. Hopefully, as you're frozen your eggs and you're going round, you're also making enough money, like you're getting good money. Because if you have your baby, say, at age 45 or 50, remember in a few years you're going to be on retirement and the economy is not waiting for you. So if you were running around, then let's hope that you were making money
And saving.
and investing, yes, so that the child doesn't come to suffer because now you are not working and you don't have money. So the considerations are a lot.
Yeah.
They are a lot.
Yeah. But you see, that said, let's how do I put it? Yeah, we're also happy to know that the technological advancements we have now are making it possible for us to achieve these reproductive goals even later, so that for the woman who is already in the 50s, it's not all lost, right? It's not all lost.
Yeah.
It's not all lost.
Yes.
Yeah, because the oldest we've had was 56 years, and she was able to have her baby and she's happy. And so there are people who are in that category already.
Wow.
So it's not all lost, but for those of us who are younger, that's the point. Let's try and make it earlier.
Great. 2 questions in one. Good morning, Edem. I am 42 and my husband is 48. As I am writing, I am 12 weeks pregnant. Is there any danger ahead of me? This is from Evelyn. Then the next one I saw, oh yes, I have it now. I am 50. My husband is 56 and we need a child. What do we do?
So let's talk to the 50-year-old because she's already at 50 and she needs a child. So like I said, thankfully the technology available now enables us to help her to have a baby. That's why I said the oldest we've done so far in Ghana here was about 56, right? And so there is hope for you at 50. Yeah.
Even if you haven't frozen your eggs earlier?
Yes, even if you have not.
Okay.
Because based on your circumstances, we discuss options, including the use of donor eggs, where we get a donor that will match you, put it that way, and use their eggs with your partner's sperm to fertilize, prepare your womb, and you carry your pregnancy, and then have your baby or babies. Okay, so there's a way, there's solution for you, regardless of the age. Now, for the other listener who is 42 and thankfully 12 weeks pregnant, it is great news because not many people are able to conceive spontaneously, like we have discussed, at that age. There are few concerns we have to look out for. Between 12 and 13 weeks, there's some detailed scan we need to do to assess that the baby is all formed well. Just because we have at the back of our heads that at that age there's a slight increase in the chance of having some issues with the baby. This is not to raise your anxiety. It is just so we check and assure you and ourselves. Then again, we wait. When we get between 20 to 22 weeks, we do a more detailed anatomy where we check the brain, the spinal cord, the kidneys, the liver, all the organs, and tick that everything is formed and developing well. Or no, something is slowing down. So we need to put in some and other interventions, either during the pregnancy or prepare for some other interventions at the time of delivery. So it is good. You need to get those close monitoring or surveillance done, and then you are good.
So Evelyn, on this note, from what Doc has said, we'll say congratulations to you.
Yes.
To start with, and then I'm not sure Doc has said that certainly you have any danger ahead of you. No, he's just saying that. I mean, from your 13th week onwards, some detailed checks will have to be made.
From now, actually.
From now, exactly. 13, yeah. And then after then, they will even do some more detailed ones. And this is all to ensure that you have a healthy baby. And so, if your doctor is not talking about it, please tell them that you heard it on Joy FM. Dr. Sepoga says that right now, some detailed checks will have to be made. And so, they will have to do that for you. Otherwise, congratulations. And we're praying that you have, a safe delivery. And please, when baby comes, send a message so that we can come for the naming ceremony. Plenty questions. But we have a bit of time, so we'll get into them. Now, the joy of every parent is to see their children cheerful and hearty. To achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients and multivitamins which can promote their welfare. One of such nutritious beverages is Vitamilk soy milk drink. Vitamilk soy milk is made from natural soybeans, which is a good source of plant protein. That's vitamins B1 and B2. Vitamilk has no artificial coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. Remember that for the past 20 years in Ghana, Vitamilk has been consistent with its product quality. So go on and choose Vitamilk Champ for your children because it has plant proteins and it is nutritious and amazingly delicious and satisfying. It comes in its regular soy milk drink. We also have the Vitamilk Energy and the multi-cereal with no caffeine. Vitamilk Choco, Banana, Strawberry. You can have it in a 250ml and Vitamilk 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. You want to tune into Joy FM every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Hits FM on Mondays at 5:30 a.m. Joy Prime TV on Saturdays at 7 a.m. What's happening there? Pentecost Hour. a religious broadcast program sponsored by the Church of Pentecost. And it comes your way with the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche. Once again on Joy FM, 1:30 p.m. on Sundays, 5:30 a.m. on Hits FM on Mondays, and then on Saturdays at 7 a.m. on Joy Prime. The Church of Pentecost, we are possessing the nations for the Lord. And oh yes, the rich taste of Dano milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, your oats, your gari soakings, your cocoa. Dano milk is a rich source of natural protein and fortified with vitamin A. It has several other vitamins and essential nutrients that keeps you nourished and healthy every day. It is rich in proteins and iodines, vitamin B12, calcium. So go on and choose Dano milk because 100% of our milk is sourced from our farms in Europe. So we control the entire production process to ensure that the milk that gets to you keeps its natural quality. Dano milk is natural. You can have it in the Dano milk cool cow or plain powdered milk, Dano milk coffee 3-in-1, Dano milk chocolate 3-in-1, and Dano milk evaporated milk. Dano milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose tasty milk, choose nourishment, choose Dano milk. Dano milk, just go for it. Well, if you're just joining us, you're a bit late, but we still have a bit of time. In a bit, I will also be speaking to my friends from the Executive Women's Network this afternoon around 3 o'clock. There's a fireside chat. I will be telling you all about it. And yours truly, Edem Knight-Tay, I will be moderating the session. And so, I don't know, when we speak to Isilfo, I will find out whether you're still able to come, because I was told earlier that all the slots are filled out, but it will be very great. We'll tell you about it. And if you're not able to come there in person, you may be able to follow on digital media, social media. So we'll put that out and then you may be able to follow. But it's going to be a really good one. And I am indeed looking forward to that conversation. We'll be telling you all about it. Okay, I'm coming back from the break with a very interesting question. Home Affairs, we're talking about age-related fertility decline, and my guest in the studio is Dr. Promise Emmanuel Sepoga. Okay, so the question says that when your lab results say your sperm is azoospermic, can you get a woman pregnant?
So the designation azoospermia means that the semen or the seminal fluid we are getting does not contain sperms, the living sperms that we need to fertilize the egg. So we usually will go a step further to see if we can find the cause of this. If we find the cause, some may require some minor surgical procedure to fix. Then the problem is solved. On the other hand, it may be due to the fact that you are either not making the sperm cells at all, or you are making the sperm cells but they are stuck in the testes. So if we confirm that you're making the sperms but they are stuck in the testes, then we have this ability to go extract the sperm
The
from
one
the
you
testes.
talked about earlier.
Yes, the TC. If on the other hand it is from some problem which is not making you able to produce the sperms at all, then the main solution would be to consider the use of donor sperms. Yeah. And of course, adoption.
Wow. Okay.
So there are
Again, all is
solutions.
not lost.
Yes, there are solutions.
Now, there's a question here that made my heart sink. Hello, Doc. Good morning. I am 39, and my husband and I are trying for a baby. We've tried for the past 9 years. We seek for a doctor's advice, and we were told it's fibroid. I had surgery thinking that will make me conceive, but it was to no avail. After 3 years, sorry, I noticed that when I menstruate, blood comes out from my tummy. I wondered what that is. And the doctor said it's endometriosis. So I should have another surgery. I need your advice. And this is from Amma in Tema.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are some of the practical things we get faced to deal with.
Wow.
So that makes me want to emphasize the fact that if for some reason you have fibroids and it required surgery, you should even prioritize your childbirth higher than somebody who did not have fibroid surgery. Because when we have the fibroid surgery, it means your fibroids are of importance. That is why we needed to remove them. And so once we have the cost to remove the fibroid, let us prioritize childbirth so that you don't get your fibroid surgery done and you are waiting for so many other years. One, some of the tiny fibroids at the time of your initial surgery that were tiny, microscopic, and were not detectable would grow. And because we are seeing a lot of persons who have had a previous fibroid surgery with recurrent fibroids and now difficulty conceiving. So as a society, Fertility Society of Ghana, we want to propagate that. We are even telling our colleague doctors that when a woman has needed myomectomy to remove fibroids, let's encourage them to get pregnant sooner rather than wait till later on. Now, so coming back to this issue of our friend who's had a surgery, who's been struggling for 9 years, and unfortunately is down with endometriosis. Yeah, endometriosis is one of the difficult issues to deal with, I must say. And
I think she's 49.
She's, 39.
Is it? Let me check.
Yes. So what it means is you have endometriosis is when the cells, the tissues that are supposed to be found inside the lining of the womb have developed elsewhere. And it can go anywhere in your body, in your lower abdomen. Sometimes you can have a nodule around your belly button, which is what is happening here. And because those cells are programmed to bleed, just like your menses, so wherever they are, they bleed when it is time to have your menses. And indeed, when that happens, we need surgery. Sometimes we need to remove that swelling at the belly button and then put you on some medication, some injections. Some we give every month for a couple of months to suppress these tissues, then quickly see what we can do to get you pregnant. Because the good thing about endometriosis is once you get pregnant, and for the period of 9 months of pregnancy, it's able to suppress further growth of the endometriosis. So yes, that problematic nodule needs to be removed through surgery and then some medications or injections to suppress further development and then quickly work on getting pregnant.
Okay. I don't want to pretend that I am I understand everything.
Yeah, but I'm sure
but it
she
sounds
does.
sounds a bit,
Yeah.
Yeah, some way.
It can
There's
be
another
solved.
one.
Yeah.
There's another one. She's 45,
Mm.
diagnosed with bilateral blockage.
Mm.
She's asking, is her case hopeless? Can I ever conceive and have children of my own?
Certainly. It's certainly, I mean, there's certainly a lot of hope. It is never hopeless. No. It is never hopeless.
Is the bilateral blockage the same as the tubal
Yes,
blockage
so
we
she has
talked about?
bilateral tubal blockage. And what it means is both tubes, every woman has two tubes you're
So
born with.
both are blocked.
Both are blocked.
Wow.
So naturally to conceive
It's difficult.
is difficult. But there are some interventions we're even able to do now to flash the tubes open in some cases, right? If we did that and it still would not open, then we go on to other steps of helping to conceive, like the use of artificial assisted reproductive technology like IVF, where because the function of the tube is provide a space where the sperm goes to meet the egg. So if your tubes are blocked, then that travel and meeting cannot happen. We take out the eggs, take the sperm, and fertilize them in the IVF lab to form the pregnancy, prepare the lining of your womb, and put these pregnancies back in there for you. So it is certainly not hopeless.
Okay, Doc. Thank you for that. There's another one. This is an interesting one. It says that nice topic you guys are dealing with, but I have not heard anything about the cost.
Yeah, because we don't talk about cost here, isn't it?
It certainly won't come cheap, will it? Or it doesn't come cheap.
Cheap is relative, Edem.
But
So
if you consider the fact that you can actually just, copulate with your partner and get pregnant and not go through all of these,
yeah,
then these interventions won't definitely come
yeah,
at that cost.
yeah, that is true. That is true. But yes, it's good to know that these solutions are there as a first step, and then we assess on a case by case basis, and then it will be suggest that okay, so for yours A, B, C may be involved, for yours it may be just A and B, and then the costs estimates are discussed based on each person's case. Yeah, but I mean, yes, you may think that it will be expensive and unaffordable, but you realize that no, once people mean business, they are able to find a means
They're able to find the means
to fund it. Yeah.
Great. So, Doc, when we talk about fertility preservation, is it just about having your eggs frozen?
Certainly not.
Okay.
So, having your eggs frozen in the case of women is one of the options, and it's not only necessarily because you are afraid that you are growing and you are not able to get a partner now, and you want to safeguard them. Sometimes we have to do that because the youngish woman has been diagnosed of some cancer. Okay, commonly breast cancer, which is we're increasingly seeing in women below 40 years, and so the woman is below 40. She's been diagnosed of breast cancer. Unfortunately, a lot of our breast cancer cases are detected at an advanced stage, where the treatment may involve the use of some chemotherapy, and the chemotherapy has a tendency to cause damage to the eggs. Okay, and so before you go on the chemo, you'll be referred to us, and then we can talk about some of these fertility preservation options. Quickly stimulate you, harvest some eggs, and freeze before you go for chemotherapy, just so we have your eggs spared of the dangers of the chemotherapy. That's one of them. Or somebody has some other cancer that may require radiation in the pelvis, and we don't want damage effect of the radiation on the eggs. Quickly have to remove some of the eggs and freeze. So these are all areas for fertility preservation. And we do same for men. The man has been diagnosed of some condition for which he is going to undergo either radiation in the pelvis or some chemotherapy, and we are afraid of the damaging effect or the toxic effects of those on the sperm. We would harvest some of the sperm and freeze. So all that is part of fertility preservation. Sometimes we actually do a bit of surgery and remove a bit of the ovary and keep,
Okay.
so that when you're done with all the chemo or the radiotherapy, then we can implant or transplant that ovary, and then you can have your reproductive function back. So not only for what we call social reasons, but also for other very important medical reasons.
Someone was asking if it's possible to still freeze eggs at age 42.
At age 42, it is possible, but we wish it was earlier. Now, it is possible, or it would be possible, if we check and we're able to tell that yes, even though you are 42, you still have some good reserves. Yeah.
Okay.
So theoretically, it's possible, but we need to check first to see if it is possible in your case.
Great.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a conversation, and I mean it has to do with sickle cell, and so I was let into the fact that this woman has a set of twins. I think she and her husband are both AS, so the possibility of having an SS child is in there. But fortunately, the twins, are all fine. But then she's pregnant again. And this time around, it's even been detected already that this one is SS, And I'm told she's devastated. So she's carrying the pregnancy and already very devastated, And are there any interventions for couples like that? I have seen, at least I know about 3 young people who have had to go their separate ways. They were planning to get married up until that point where they were told that, look, the possibility of having an SS child, exists for the two of you because you both are AS, and so they had to go their separate, very painfully, very painfully.
Yeah.
And so are there interventions for couples like that now that, fertility issues are so advanced?
Yeah, certainly. There are, because you see, sickle cell is a major problem here in Ghana. 2% of all newborns have sickle cell.
Oh,
So that's 2 of every 100 babies.
wow.
Okay, and so it's a problem we have, and it's genetic. There isn't so much we can do about it, but there are things we can do to prevent it from multiplying and continuing. And like you said, so if the couple, each one is AS, each time there is a conception, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the baby will be SS, 2 in 4 chance that it will be AS, 1 in 4 chance of being AA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And these are just probabilities. You have absolutely no control
Over them.
Okay. It does not mean that when you get pregnant 4 times, one will be this, one will be 2 will be this. No. Every pregnancy, these are the possibilities that can play out. Okay. And so fortunately,
So you actually can have all the children turning out to be SS.
to be SS. You can have all of them to be AA. You can have all of them to be AS. And the troubles of having SS, yeah, they are beyond description. The children go through pain, recurrent crisis. You're back in the emergency room and off, missing out in school. Mother is always missing jobs. It's a big challenge.
And Doc, seeing your child go through that pain.
Yeah. Sometimes you wish you were rather feeling the pain, and your child was free.
And then the guilt you go through, realizing that this could have been prevented.
Yeah, to some extent, And so fortunately, we are able to use some of the assisted reproductive technology interventions where we do IVF, in vitro fertilization. So take the eggs, take the sperms, and we fertilize them. When we fertilize them, assuming we got 10, 11, 12, 15 eggs, fertilize all of them, let them develop to a point about 5 days we call blastocyst stage. Then we conduct genetic testing on each of these embryos. Okay, and so on that testing, we're able to tell that, oh, these 7 of them are AA, 4 of them are AS, and then 3 of them are SS. Then we know beforehand that, okay, so we're not going to use the SS embryos. So we have
Okay.
separated them. And then we focus on using the AA embryo. So take maybe 1 or 2 or maximum 3 of that, depending on the woman's age, and put back in the uterus for her to conceive. So then she's able to get pregnant through IVF and pre-implantation genetic testing, PGT. And that enables us to separate the sickle cell embryos, potential sickle cell SS babies, away and not use them. And that's what we're doing now. And fortunately,
It's working.
it's working and it's available right here. You know, so that the couples should not necessarily have to part ways. Now, for those who are already ASAS and they are pregnant, we also have a way of detecting or analyzing a bit of the fluid around the baby to tell the baby's genotype, you know, right when the baby is in utero. And then we proceed with what we call genetic counseling based on the outcome.
That one, obviously, you will have the baby.
Yes, based on how the counseling goes. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
There's a question on the back of that, not related to sickle cell, but so they're 40. I am married at the age of 40, and having series of miscarriages. I've even had stillbirths. Every facility you go to, IVF is the option, but we don't have the means. So what do? We're stuck, and I eagerly need a baby. Family pressure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the difficult real life situations. And repeated miscarriages sometimes emanate from the reduced quality eggs, okay, which may be at play in this case. And so in some of those cases, if we're able to get the means to do the IVF, that helps us to a large extent to guarantee to some extent that we're going to have the healthier of the eggs making the pregnancies. They will develop one after fertilization, so healthier embryos. But in the absence of that, sometimes other medical problems may be at the background. And so some detailed testing will be able to figure out that, okay, there's this condition where it's medication A, B, or C might also have a place whilst we keep trying without the ability to afford the IVF. So there are certain things we can consider that may be potentially helpful.
Okay. So please, those of you who are asking, you want to put this number down: 0302 631 880. Number again is 0302 631 880. I'll mention it for the last time: 0302 631 880. Ship Medicals, Ship Specialist Medical Center. You want to call, book an appointment to see Dr. Sepoga and have all your conversations with him. Some of the questions, obviously, we were unable to answer them here on the radio. So book an appointment and, make a date with him and have all the questions you want to ask. And then, interventions will be provided. So, Doc, the lady who has the bilateral blockage, she's 45.
Yeah.
She's 45.
It's 45, yeah.
Yes.
So
And I have about 2 more questions I will come back to ask you before we go.
okay.
But I told us earlier about the Far Side event happening this afternoon with Executive Women's Network, and I have Um, um, okay, I have Nane Silfwa on the line. Hello, good morning, Nana.
Good morning, Edem.
How are you this morning?
I'm well, a little sleepy, but I'm well.
Oh, I thought you were already running around. I see. Great. So we'll get quickly talking about the fireside chat this afternoon. And this
Yes.
is on the back of International Women's Day. We're still in March, and we actually on Home Affairs also said that we're dedicating the month of March to talk about, women. So it's in order. Invest in women, accelerate progress, and our hashtag is inspire inclusion. So tell us a bit about the program this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, Edem, and good morning to your listeners. Yes, we are having an exciting program this evening. As you said, it's still the month of March, and we are celebrating women and doing our very best to empower ourselves, so we can accelerate the progress that we desire. So we are having, I would like to call it like a reflection,
Mm.
so that we can chat to ourselves about what more as women we can do to invest in ourselves first, because I do believe we've got to invest in ourselves also, not always in others. So investing first in ourselves and also investing in other women, who seek the opportunity so we can help them grow. After all, I think we are stronger in our numbers, and
That's
therefore
true.
there are lots of opportunities for us to do this. Open the right kind of doors, let us we rise, so other women can also accelerate their progress. So this is the fireside chat that we are having this afternoon.
Mm.
We are a mix of EWN members, that is the leaders and the members of the Executive Women Network Association. We have also invited, women associations, the leaders and other members in women associations in corporate. We have Afterbank, NTN, Petrosol, EcoBank, BRA, Zen Petroleum, and Olam. We've invited their women network group so that they can join us to participate in this session that we are going to have this afternoon.
Great.
But I'm very excited about the guest speakers that we have as well, because I know them personally and I know what they have done to grow a lot of women, create opportunities for them. We have Mrs. Elsie Adwawazis, who's the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. She's an awesome lady, so she'll come and also self-reflect and share her thoughts on the theme. Then there's also Taka Awori, who is the CEO of Busara Africa. She's a very accomplished leadership coach and organizational development expert. So we have these two phenomenal ladies, amongst us this afternoon. And so it promises to be a very exciting afternoon, Edem.
Great. Thank you very much. If you haven't signed up, can you still attend? Or it's too late now.
Edem, I think for this particular event, the fireside chat we are going to have, we are oversubscribed.
Okay, great.
I mean, it saddens me that we cannot have more women join us. But at the same time, I am very excited about the fact that, the enthusiasm to participate in the program has been overwhelming.
Great. So, I mean, what it is that subsequently, when this announcement goes up and you'd like to be there, please sign up early, because when Janet and the other ladies were in the studio, we talked about it. And so we're telling the public that these events are really very great. If you hear it as a man, you want to tell your woman, your sisters, your aunties, your wives to just be there and listen and be inspired as well. Thank you, Nana Esilfwa Tamaklo, Marketing and Corporate Affairs Director, Absa Bank, GH, and also an executive committee member of the Executive Women's Network. I'll see you this afternoon.
All right, so then see
Th-
you.
Thank you. Great. So, Doc, I come back to ask you my final question, and then we will be out of here. So, this very one about, oh dear. Okay, I asked you this one already, but there was one question. Oh my world, where did the question run away to? Aha, found it. Someone wanted to find out, is it possible that a girl can be born without any eggs at all?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there are some rare congenital problems like that where the girl is born with no ovaries.
At all?
Yeah, but those, fortunately, those are rare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have
So,
we had any such case here?
uh, here in Ghana, maybe extremely far in between. Yeah,
Great.
and globally so.
Great. And the person's last question is, do doctors at any point recommend spiritual intervention?
I mean, so why not? All of us, well, yeah, doctors just like anybody else, we we all believe in the supremacy of the creator.
Mm.
Because when you do surgery, you cut through the human body,
Mm.
you see how things are arranged, how things are orderly.
And
No,
that was not done by a doctor.
exactly. You will certainly know that there was some power somewhere,
Mm.
And so, yeah, we do. And we also would, we pray and trust God to help us succeed in what we're
You're
doing.
doing.
Yes, whether it is surgery, every day before you go to work, you pray that the patients coming through to my door today, God help me to be able
To be
to
able to
find
help
solution for their
them.
needs. And so, yeah, we do, which is why we try to encourage you to do what you have to do, and which is why it gets painful when the patients that we recommend based on your training in scientific knowledge and professional training that this intervention is needed, the patient goes to another spiritualist, in quotes, and they told him, oh no, you should not go through what the doctors are recommending. And unfortunately, life threatening and potentially fatal complications arise just because somebody decided not to take professional advice.
Great.
So they are not excluded. When we also talk to you,
We want
we
you
are
to
also
listen.
talking, and we're also hoping and praying and trusting that ultimately the best is what becomes
Great.
your lot.
Thank you very much, Doc. This has been a very good one. We talked this morning about age-related fertility decline and all you need to know about it, and you have. I particularly love the bit about the sickle cell where there is intervention, because watching children in distress till they grow and sometimes till they lose their lives is just too painful. So if there is intervention, praise the Lord for that. I have been talking to Dr. Promise E. Sepoga, consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, fertility specialist at Ship Health Care, and also the vice president of the Fertility Association of Ghana. Doc, thank you very much. He's also a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School. This is how we're ending Home Affairs this morning. But before I go, let me just remind you again that the joy of every parent is to see their children cheerful and hearty. To achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients and multivitamins which can promote their welfare. And so, encouraging you this morning to ultimately get the Vitamilk soy milk, because it is made from natural soybeans, which is a good source of plant protein, vitamin B1 and B12. It has no artificial coloring, no flavorings, and no preservatives. So choose the Vitamilk Champ for your children because it has plant proteins and it is nutritiously amazing. It's delicious and also satisfying. It also comes in the regular soy milk drink. You can have it in the multi-cereal with no caffeine, choco, banana, strawberry. You can have it in the 250ml and 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Thank you all very much for doing the listening. My squad is in here. The Weekend City Show hosted by Kofi Hayford. And also stay tuned in for the rest of our programs. We're out of here.
Ophelia, did you brush your teeth before eating?
No, Mommy. Anytime I use Daddy's toothpaste, I get bruises in my mouth and sometimes I feel like vomiting.
That's not an excuse. As a child, you need to brush your teeth before you take your breakfast to avoid tartar and cavity, okay? And you, why are you laughing at your sister? Have you brushed your teeth?
Yes, Mom. I used the Kel Kids toothpaste you brought yesterday to brush my teeth.
Well done, darling. Kel Kids toothpaste is made for kids like you from 2 years to 6 years.
It was so sweet like strawberry. I even wanted to eat it, Mom.
No, you can't eat it. It's toothpaste, not toffee, okay? It's always advisable to give your kids Kel Kids toothpaste to brush their teeth. Kel Kids toothpaste. Kel Kids toothpaste with strawberry flavor makes...
Hello, Ohima. Eti saying.
Ayo.
Na edahin.
Miko pe vitamin B dia jojo makoma.
What a coincidence. Miso nuwa na miko to.